with players, coaches, and fans awaiting 206 days for the night, also known as opening night. It featured an encore of the AFC title game. Want to see how the repeat and opening kickoff night fared? Stay tuned to find out on Gridiron Gab Pro Style.
The autumn winds move like the thunderous waves of Neptune's sacred palace. And here, amongst the blackened soil, lies the ragged hands, worn, torn, and callous. They await with cunning and vicious prowess, for the warriors have returned.
Come on, Dirk! Don't do it! Woo! No way! Woo! 85! Crying out loud! You're making me, you're driving me nuts!
But behold,
Welcome back, you guys. Thank you so much for staying up with us and joining us for the opening night version, or for the opening night edition of Gridiron Gab Pro Style. It's me again, Mr. CeeLo here. Coming back here talking to you about the Chiefs' 27-20 victory over the Baltimore Ravens. I know.
Yeah. You fucking idiot.
As you guys know, if you checked out my show, I also picked the Ravens to win this game. But look, let's not sit here and make it sound like that the Ravens didn't have a valiant effort. They were beaten not only by Lamar Jackson's ability still to not make throws, but also there was, I questioned early, a lot of people are going to say, oh, he's complaining, but the illegal procedure or the illegal formation, the Chiefs tackles were doing this early in the game, and I agree with what John Harbaugh was saying about calling it on both sides. I noticed neither team got it right until the Ravens finally got flagged for it 3 times. And I was watching the Chiefs, so I was seeing the same thing, so I didn't really know what they were calling. So I totally agree with what John Harbaugh was saying. Not to mention the roughing, the unnecessary roughness on Raekwon Smith, because we all know that Patrick Mahomes has a habit of tiptoeing that sideline. And no, Raekwon Smith had every right to tackle him. So all of you Chief fans can hate me if you want to. Yeah, y'all got one on that one too. So this needs to be looked at. These garbage calls that the Chiefs are getting need to stop. Really, it needs to stop. People will say, "Oh, well, calls get missed." Yeah, but come on now, it's getting a little redundant now. But all in all, it was a great game. I still think Lamar's got a long way. Instead of working on losing weight to get slimmer, he has still not shown he's got his accuracy together. I get it. He's on the move throwing. But ultimately, this is what you do. You have got to learn to throw the football on the run. It's what you do. It's what you're going to have to do, especially this season. Now, another thing I had a problem with, as we go and we look at the box score and the statistics here, I still don't understand how come Derrick Henry only carried this football 13 times. And then there were too many plays when Justice Hill was in the game. Too many. And I'm just not understanding how. And don't get me wrong. He's a good player. But he ain't Derrick Henry. This is what Tom Monken's got to understand. Tom Monken's got to understand. When Derrick Henry's on the field, everybody's worried about him. Ain't nobody worried about stopping Justice Hill. They can do that. You got to commit at least 6-7 guys to the line of scrimmage. And in turn, that leaves Justice Hill and Rashad Bateman and even Isaiah Likely, who had a really good game, 9 catches, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, and that last one, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. That was just gut-wrenching if you're a Ravens fan and as a football fan yourself. And no, I'm not a Chief hater. I just don't like Chief Nation. You guys are annoying as hell. I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. Y'all are. Y'all remind me a lot of Georgia Bulldog fans. You know, act like you've been here.
What a dumbass.
You know, people are going to talk about your team. And at the end of the day, you have weaknesses. Just admit it. You have weaknesses. And you squeaked by this game, and you were in your building. Simple enough. And once again, I will tip my hat to you. This was a game where Mahomes had 291 and a costly interception. And as I said before, he got away with tiptoeing the sidelines when he was clearly inbounds. So I don't know where the flag came from. If he was out of bounds, he was squaring the sideline and nobody blew the whistle. So this is what I say. If he's not going to clearly get out of bounds, yes, you're fair game. You are fair game, Patrick Mahomes. Get your butt out of bounds like everybody else does if you don't want to get hit. Stop trying to be slick. And I think the officials need to get together on that because he's been doing that the entire time he's been in the league. He'll skip past the sidelines trying to be slick. Because most certainly they're not going to say, oh, by the way, we're going to bring the ball back because we thought you were out of bounds. No, those guys are at liberty to put your butt out of bounds if you ain't going. If you're not going to go willingly, we'll put you out. So I didn't like that call. I thought it was a bad call. So, and I thought it possibly could have been huge. You would have gave them a few more moments. But listen, Lamar Jackson 16, 122. But he missed some crucial throws. And once again, you look at 41 throws. I get it. Majority of them were on the last two drives. But that's still no excuse for them running the ball 32 times for 185. Now, granted, Lamar Jackson had 122 of them. And you back it up, but you still look at it. Let's look at it. That's 16 carries for 63 yards. 16 carries, 63 yards for the other guys. That's still pretty darn good. So I don't understand why you felt like you had to go away from it. If I would have read, I don't understand why they don't do the read option as much. You know, all you got to do is when you're going to throw it, where's the Mark Andrews thing? You used to kill that. I'm not seeing enough of it. Now all of a sudden you're falling in love with trying to look deep and your throws are still not accurate. You had 2 balls in the end zone on the last drive alone that were bad. Even the throw you had to Rashad Bateman was off target. He was by himself. If Rashad Bateman catches that football and he's clean, guess what? He can get out of bounds and you don't lose all that time. And you don't have to take 4 shots and blind shots in the end zone. You can actually take a shot at giving Derrick Henry the ball. Now, in essence, I will say this. Chris Jones was a wrecker. He was a wrecker tonight. He really was. He was very efficient in the pass rushing game. And I will say this. The offensive line of Baltimore did recover somewhat and did a pretty darn good job. But there were times when I looked at this game and I just said to myself, this is not a Todd Monken called game. This is a game where he's not dictating. He's allowing the Kansas City Chiefs to dictate to him. And honestly, it looked like the game plan did not work. It looked like it was struggling. It really did. The only time it looked like the Ravens offense looked like it had any kind of momentum is when Lamar Jackson was running the football. Now, on the other hand, as I said before, I thought the front four of the Kansas City Chiefs did a great job disrupting things. You didn't see a lot of blitzing, which is what Spags likes to do. You saw more coverage, and you saw maybe a 5th guy go in, maybe at times a 6th guy. I didn't see a lot of blitzing from the Kansas City Chiefs defense. They were basically saying, we're going to spy him, and then we're going to play coverage. We're going to spy him and play coverage. And it worked. It worked well. They said, hey, if he can run for 100 yards, but he's not going to beat us deep. Zay Flowers had a couple of good plays, but all in all, it's not a situation where if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you're saying, hey, I can take that. Hey, we can take that. But ultimately, The 38-yard reception by Bateman doesn't beat you. Lively, who had, like I said, 9 grabs for 111 yards and a score, and that toe out of bounds miss that was there. But we can't go without saying Rashee Rice. He was really hot in that first half. He finishes with 7 grabs, 103 yards. But what was impressive to me is how he was able to get down the field in the middle of this Ravens defense and do what he did. He was very good off the line of scrimmage. He was very, very effective getting in the middle of those holes in that Raven defense, which that's very rare. You don't hear a lot of holes in the Ravens defense unless they're blitzing, which you saw some blitzing by the Ravens, which is their trademark, but you didn't really see a whole lot of that tonight. You saw a lot of matchups in single coverage, but outside of that, it was mostly man on man and 4, maybe 5 guys at a time coming. But Jalen Watson for the Chiefs finished with 11 total tackles. Justin Reed 9, Nick Bolton 7, Lee Chanel 7, and Chris Jones had the lone sack for the Chiefs. Then we look over here at the Ravens side, who had 2 sacks tonight. Matabuke had a half, Trent Simpson had a half, and David Ojabo had a sack. This was the guy out of Michigan who's been waiting forever to get back on the field. He's had some really tough he's really had a tough go at it since his injury, but he was a big time guy out of Michigan. If you guys remember him, he was a big time pass rusher out of Michigan. But he's finally back, and honestly, he's going to be a huge addition to this defense. You guys wait and see. They've been waiting on him, and he's gonna do some really big things. But 27-20 is the final on opening night as the Ravens fall to the Chiefs. As Mahomes throws for a score and 291. Lamar Jackson quietly threw for 273 yards, but he should have easily thrown for 300 because he missed several open plays. So, as I said before, I'm not going to be overly critical of Lamar, but at the same time, it's just like I told you guys. Different looking Lamar, same results. Still missing on open throws. You can't blame receivers when they're giving all their effort. The one he missed on the toe tag was a simple throw and catch. I mean, I get it. He was on the move. But got to make that. That shouldn't have been one Isaiah Lively had to sky out for an alley-oop for yet again. But let me know what you guys think. Chief Nation, you guys won again. Yeah. I know. But let me know what you guys think. Hit me up at Gridiron Gaya Pro Style on my Facebook. Also, hit me up at my Instagram at Mr. CeeLo. And also comment down in the comments. I know you Chief fans are going to bring it, so come on with it. But until the next time, same Gab channel, same Gab platform.
But behold, there is a warm breeze that comes from the west. The blazing sounds of victory fuel their everlasting quest. It is a call to arms, for they are here. An army that has the will to challenge and the will